Hello, beautiful people. I am so super happy to be back on your screen. How long has it been? So long, and yet you're still in our hearts. I am Stephen Bessionaloa. And you're welcome back to Divas on the Dial. And I am Grace.
Of course, my name is Oladipo Sheriff. But of course, when the energy is big, the energy is big. Come on, because of you fans. Today is the 11th of September in the year 2024, and this is Divas on the Dial. Do not go anywhere. It's your breakfast morning show.
We'll be right back. Stay with us. You're welcome back to Divas on the Dial, and today we'll be talking about the news making the rounds. As you can see, a lot has been going on in our society. We'll talk about locally, internationally. A lot of news have been making the waves, as we can see. First of all, let's start with I think lately a lot has been happening about abuse, sexual assault.
A whole lot. Of course, you can see that,
I mean, it's
over
been
and over.
Yeah. This particular one, it says that man sexually assault 2 children with dubious kiss gate. Now, I don't want to go into the details of it, as so it doesn't make a lot of them uncomfortable.
Sure.
But I think this is time for it's time for the government, for the people representing, the children and women to stand up and say something.
Of course, I was actually thinking when you said the government. The government can do everything. What about we starting the propaganda itself right now? How do we think we can fight this? Because the issue of sexual abuse is everywhere, not only in Nigeria. So let's just come together to do better. Okay, it's from my hand here. I have a hand bad governance protest. Court slams 100 million naira bill each on 10 August protester. This is so funny because why would you say the protesters are hungry? Well, to me, it's funny. So the inside of the story says that the Federal High Court in Abuja on Wednesday, that's yesterday, slammed 10 million naira bill on each of the 10 members of the End Bad Government protesters. So I think this will be a lesson for those people that wants to, I dare not actually, for those that want to do something like this.
Okay, very quickly, from abortion right to immigration, highlights of Trump-Harris presidential debate. So for a while now, the United States has been going through some very heated, debates, especially as when the elections are,
approaching.
Approaching. Now we don't know who is going to be on the seats, but then we just hope for the best, of course. Harris has said a lot about abortion rights and immigration. We just hope that because I mean Trump I think people had rumors saying Trump does not exactly like immigrants or all of that. And Harris is promising different. Now we don't know who the winner is, but we just pray for the best.
Well, let's just pray for the best. Actually, I do not want to be a feminist. I would have said the other gender should actually go in there.
I mean, it won't be bad for us to have like a female.
Maybe.
I need someone to inspire me differently. Definitely.
Of course, you have a whole lot of people here in Nigeria that can do that. But on the international level, that is really encouraging.
Definitely.
And looking at the law of the abortion, well, to me, I think it's about choice. It's about choice.
It is.
You could not just enforce people not to do that from abortion to immigration. Well, let's just see how it goes, actually.
Definitely.
So moving on here, I have an NLPC held fresh obstacles faces Dangote refinery on Sunday. The inside of the story says there are indications that the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited may not lift Dangote refinery premier motor spirit by Sunday, 15 September in the year 2024. Of course, lately I've been seeing a lot of fuel out there, like there's this huge differences between the usual fuel that we're only seeing and this Dangote fuel. Some people actually said it looks like water. Well, I have not gotten that. Maybe seeing is believing.
Seeing is believing.
You could sponsor that.
Oh my goodness. Well, I know for a fact that NMPC and Dangote, they've been going through some very rough, parts lately, and we just hope that this comes to a conclusion. But before then, I mean, what can we say? We just hope that the government and the people, hope to resolve their issues, and definitely we hope for the best. Anyway, this is where we have come to the final from today's stories and news on the dial. Again, make sure you follow us tomorrow for more exciting details.
All right, I will be going on to the next segment of the analysis on the Divas on the dial. Do not change the dial. This is Divas on the dial. We'll be back in a jiffy.
You're welcome back to the analysis session of Divas on the Dial on the Point Network, where we'll talk about everything in between. I am Stephen Best Yanaloa, and I am with a wonderful person today. He's a guest, and he'll be introducing himself to us, of course. Can we meet you, sir?
My name is Saeed Abdullah. I am an Ilorin-based journalist.
Okay, that's beautiful. It's good to have journalists, talking about things of interest.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much, sir, for coming. So we're talking about something that is paramount to something that everyone is talking about at the moment. I mean, we see how the society has, changed. It's not like it took like a 360-degree change. It just went like so fast, and we don't know exactly where we're headed. We're talking about certainly the news that's made the rounds for a while, the scarcity of, for the impact it has on the people. But I'd like to ask something personal. Personally, how do you navigate this issue? When we talk about it, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Well, it is quite unfortunate that we are experiencing this, despite the fact that Nigeria has attained some level of years in terms of independence.
Sure.
Nobody could ascertain or could observe or could think that we can still find ourselves in this situation. It is generally and indeed known to everybody that it is a testament and indeed a demonstration of government failure. So that is a summary of all situation of Nigeria. It is quite pathetic.
It's really pathetic. How do you think? I mean, you made mention of something. You said it's a demonstration of government failure. The funny thing is, a lot of people do not think of it like this. I mean, for some, we've had different observations from people, and it feels like we're clashing against ourselves. You understand? And we are not here to say, oh, this is the right part and this is the wrong part. But how much do you think this is going to go? How far? To what extent do you think this damage has done? Because I feel like at the same time the governments themselves do not know, because we are the people at the grassroots.
Well, I don't think government is not aware of what is happening in Nigeria. They are aware, but two things might be accounted for their inability to address the situation. First could be some kind of, shedding of crocodile tears on the part of government.
Okay.
And they decide that, okay, don't worry, when it is time they'll keep quiet. The other side of it is the part of the citizens who do not know how to challenge governments. And indeed, power belongs to the people. That is the normal balance in Nigeria and indeed in a civilized democracy.
Yeah.
So it is quite pathetic that we are in this situation. I want to say that on the part of the people, I'm very happy that this is happening, that people are now awaking from their slumber, because I believe Nigerians, particularly youths, were sleeping because let me say about 10 to 15 years back, youths could not even ascertain what is going on in the country because they were concentrating on that thing entirely. But when things continue to degenerate, they now started to have interest. I may say that about 15 to 10 to 15 years, as I said, we can boldly say that 30% of Nigerian youths possess PVC. They didn't even know what it was all about. But we can still say now that despite the complaints on the social media, and unfortunately there are not polling booths on the social media, so people complain there, instead of them to make their grievances known at the polling booth. I didn't mean crisis, I mean by voting, standing, no matter how hot is the sun,
I get that.
they should stay there and cast their ballot. There is this insinuation that votes don't count. They should jettison that. If they are trying every time, probably things will change for better.
Okay.
But it is quite unfortunate that every election cycle, we see our youth on the streets because of restriction of vehicles. They be playing football at the main roads. Some even subscribed their decoders at home and be watching films and what have you. That gives room for those who want to perpetrate evil during elections. So it is quite unfortunate that we have found ourselves in this situation, and youth, because the future of Nigerian youth as we are now is very dark, bleak, and indeed total outage. So there is no sign of I don't know the word to use, and we cannot be sitting this way. The best way is to be part of political process, and I'm very happy the narration changed in the last 2023 elections. So,
Thank you so much, sir. You know, someone watching out there who probably heard your last statement would not. I mean, it felt like a dagger shoving down their throat. If we should say that, I mean, I would actually commend the youth that the last election we saw their participation, and it was, you know, quite satisfactory. Yeah, really impressive. I mean, unlike previous years. But at the same time, it didn't work out, and I don't know if they are still encouraged to do more. You understand? At this point, it feels like, oh, everybody's seeking help for themselves, for their house, you know, like a refuge for their house. Everyone, like, to your tent, O Israel.
yes.
Now we are at a point where we don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. I mean, a few years ago, I would have I did predict, you know, a few things, and it did come to pass. But at the stage where I am now, at the stage where a lot of youths are now, I mean, even older people, we just want to sleep, wake up, and eat. There's no hope to save. I don't know. People don't save anymore. There's no hope to save.
I understand.
Yes.
What you are saying.
So we are basically living by the day, not without a future in sight. Now, my question is, what measures do you think we can, because we can't keep living like this. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say, right?
Yes.
So how then do we keep this? What kind of measures do you think we should? Because I don't know how invested the government wants to be in our lives anymore. But what measures can we do for ourselves now to put things in place and right in track for ourselves?
Yes, the only measures to be put in place is for everybody to be involved in politics. Because the politicians out there, they are sending wrong message to the society. The wrong message of politics is a dirty game. No one has that ability to involve in politics except only them. There is this assertion that if you involve in politics, you keep people, or they keep people on your behalf. So, and this makes politics to be scary to so many people. In fact, if children meet their parents seeking their blessing to contest election, the parents will also stop or discourage their children from contesting election. I don't want any trouble. Don't do this. I don't want any wahala. They are not mistaken, but because of the wrong message sent out by the politicians. I want to say that it is not possible for us to leave politics in the hands of the politicians. It is, please, we need to correct that impression. These people are in charge of our lives. They're in charge of security, they're in charge of health, they're in charge of education, they're in charge of, in fact, if they're in charge of the air we breathe, definitely you could imagine what will have happened to us.
Certainly.
But God surpasses them by not having power over that. So I want to say that the only way out is for everyone to be interested in politics. Because if you look at the constitutional requirements for people to contest election, it is ridiculous. It is mind-boggling. If you check the 1999 constitution as amended, the law says someone to become the president of Nigeria must possess a school certificate, O level, and it doesn't mean that that person passes that O level. So these are the kind of people running the affairs of Nigeria.
Of the country.
So if someone is seeking a job of 30,000 or 40,000 naira, they will be demanding for a university graduate 15 years experience. But someone who will run the affairs of this country, the minimum requirement is school certs. Go and check those who have contested elections in this country.
It's quite.
So it is quite, and we have majority of our youth who are well versed, educated, intelligent. Because of the wrong messages politicians are sending across, they are afraid of being part of the election. In fact, if it is not election approach, if anyone is called to come and serve, maybe through appointments, that person will also be afraid. No, I don't want to involve in any politics. Maybe they require his or her expertise to come and make things better in a particular place. Such a person will be afraid. We cannot blame that person also because of the wrong messages being sent across. If you check the species of the people running the affairs of this country, you believe that okay, how in fact the level of their education is so the highest political office holder who has become the president of Nigeria, who had PhD, was former President Goodluck Jonathan. In fact, check the result of governors who contested across Nigeria. I want to tell you that a huge number of them submitted school certs to to INEC. So I'll check the state assemblies, check the national assemblies. So, and who are the crop of people elected at the legislative arm, at the state assembly, at the national assembly? And these are the people at the state assembly, these are the people to check the governor if the governor goes astray. At the national assembly, the country is not moving forward, and the national assembly is somehow keeping more. No messages being sent across to the president from them, so that all these challenges will be addressed. The nation is now at the stage of where everybody is scared. You are at home, no peace of mind, because kidnappers go after people at their homes. You are working, no rest of mind. You are at your private vehicle, no rest of mind. You are in a public vehicle, no rest of mind. So, and the primary responsibility of a government is security. So it is obvious that government at all levels have failed in the area of security, but and indeed in all facets of things that can make life meaningful to the people. So we are talking about how things will get better. Look at the way governance is reduced to the barest minimum. Our local governments are nowhere to be found. So recently we had a judgment at the Supreme Court that local governments have been given autonomy. But the question is
it really true?
Is it really true, or is it going to be effective? Thank you. That is the word. Because if Because why everybody is concentrating on federal government is the fact that local government administration is dead in Nigeria. We have 774 local governments in Nigeria drawing monthly allocations from federation accounts. So imagine 774 local governments in shambles. It's as if they are not existing. So now we had this judgment few months ago. So how are we sure that the money meant for local government will go directly to them? Because the reason why people are concentrating on federal government, as I said, is that for instance, we have 774 local governments, and each local government, let's say, draws 150 million. So okay, if the council chairman and his or her people maybe are spending 100 or 120 million every month on a local government. So if they squander 30 million and people are seeing the impact of 120 million naira every month,
people would not complain.
People will not complain because they'll be able to fix road within that local government. Every community falls under a local government.
Definitely.
So the local government will be able to address some kind of unemployment, because the major contributor to insecurity in Nigeria is unemployment. Majority of people are idle. So if they see anything that will fetch them money, no matter how cool, so they will not ascertain to be part of that. So if we have 70 to 80% local government independence, sincerely, in fact, nobody will remember the president, because majority of our problems are from, in fact, for instance, if we have local government autonomy, this insecurity will have been tackled from local government level.
Long time ago.
Long time ago.
So someone said that, I think you're right. I think just a Yoruba proverb, but I'm going to say it in English, of course. It says that if everyone swept the front of their house, the world will be clean.
Yes. And
that is true. If the local government themselves, if the local government do their job, if each local government do their job, I think we don't even have to remember that we have, I think in countries like where their local government is very much independent, and they are also answerable, because you can't just be independent, you also have to be answerable, accountable to someone,
yes,
to something. People don't even get to remember that oh, we have a prime minister.
Exactly.
You understand? Now, these are the issues. And then you also mentioned something. You said the part where you said we youths, we are scared. I think it's time for us to also remember as youths, as young adults, that what we fear, what we want or what we need is on the other side of fear. Now, we are scared of participating in politics, and I think you should also make mention of the fact that being involved in politics doesn't necessarily mean you having a position.
Yes.
Because you're just voting, helping the rights of the people. It is also your participation to politics. You understand? You don't necessarily have to hold a position or have a placard. You're just doing your bit, contributing your part is certainly a contribution.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you've answered most of the questions that I have here already, but I think let's come home to Kwara.
Okay.
Because I mean, it is our place, and I think I just have one question.
Okay.
Last week, Thursday precisely, we had like an insurgency here in Kwara State. It was quite a thing, because we saw how it did affect the atmosphere, as it were, in Kwara State. I mean, we had a little protest and all of that.
Okay.
We had different rumors and all of that. Now, this is unlike Kwara State, because even when the whole nationwide protesting was to happen, we were not a part of them. What happened?
Well, I would say that in Kwara we have our peculiarity.
Okay.
If people continue to compare Kwara with other states, they will be mistaken.
Okay.
In fact, politically, you think Kwara will go somewhere and they will be going another way. Regarding the protests, the first time they didn't protest was because of the fear of loot. Because majority of us, for me, Personally, I didn't support the protest because I was thinking it will degenerate to where private businesses will be looted, as experienced in 2020.
Yes.
So if we are going to have a very peaceful protest and those concerned running the affairs of this country will be affected, I will be satisfied with that. What do I mean by that? If we have the protest affecting a commissioner in a state, a protest affecting a local government chairman in a state, a protest affecting people, representing people that are not doing well, that will make them to seek tithes. Okay. But imagine people who do not have anything to do with politics suffering from this problem of loot.
Okay,
that is the. So now, what majorly caused the last uproar in Ilorin, the state capital, was persistent increase in fuel price. The tricyclist operators, I think the uproar was predominantly from them.
Yeah, between them.
They were stopping their members from carrying passengers to show protests, and that was good. And indeed, I have some kind of reservation. The reservation I had, I think last week, or was it last week or this week?
It was last week.
So the reservation I had was that if you want people to feel that you are not satisfied with the fuel price,
okay,
there are ways you can ventilate your grievances, not stopping people going on their normal businesses. For instance, if you want to protest, they have associations.
Okay.
Transporters associations. They have the tricyclists, they have the Okada riders, they have the taxi drivers, they have what's it called, NRTW, they have RTEN. There are ways they can gather themselves and protest to appropriate authority, preferably maybe State House of Assembly, okay, and let the people representing them know that they are not satisfied with the fuel price. But the way they were handling it, in fact, it degenerated to a loss of a life as we gathered. So, in fact, people trekked to where they were not expected to trek to.
That particular day was.
In fact, it was a very difficult situation for the passengers dropped at the main road.
And now when they, so I think the problem was when they also had to take the bikers. They had to the bikers had to like charge on
yes. That led to exorbitant charge of transport. Imagine a short trip from here to that place that normally costs 100 naira, they'll call it 300, 400. If you cannot take it,
leave. And I leaves people with no choice.
So it is a very, but the question I'm asking is that when they did this, were the people at the helms of affairs aware of this?
Aware?
Because the ordinary citizens were the ones suffering of this. So if they want to make their grievances known, it should be done peacefully to appropriate authority.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I think the people watching should also understand that when it comes to protests, the people you're aiming at is the government, and they have to be told, they have to be in the know of certain things like this, so that the people at the grassroots do not suffer. But someone said that when it comes to protests, everyone suffers. Yeah, people have to take part of the heat for sometimes the government to get to know of things like this anyways. But I mean,
well, I'm not in support of that for people who do not have anything at stake in government to be suffering for that protest. I believe those organizing protests should organize it in such a way that their voice will be heard by those running the affairs of the nation, not an ordinary citizen going for his or her normal businesses. Can you imagine that a lot of businesses suffered on that particular day because people could not go out to fend? There are some people, if they do not go out, they cannot feed.
Yes.
They cannot fend for themselves. Unfortunately, nobody is asking how they fed on that particular day because
these are the questions.
Roads were deserted. The few tricyclists plying the roads were being waylaid, and passengers were forced to drop. So it is not too good.
Too bad. Too bad. In conclusion, because then you said we cannot leave the government away from the people. I mean, the government is for the people, by the people, and for the people anyway. So we can't fizzle out the importance of government in the life of the people.
What I'm trying to say in essence is, if every youth will be involved in politics, I'll be very glad. Because check the species, the caliber of people running the affairs of this country. They are same people from 1960 to date. They are children. Recycling of leadership. That is why poverty is so rampant that a child,
wealth doesn't flow,
doesn't spread, because the child of a less privileged in society should be able to think and have that belief that one time or a day is coming when I'm going to represent my people and contribute my quota to the development of this nation. But it's as if their hopes have been dashed, because the amount of money they sell their funds when contesting is a problem. So that demoralizes the children of the poor, who is well versed, well educated, well sound, and indeed intelligent to participate. But hope is not lost, and indeed should not be lost, by having interest that politics will not be left in the hands of the politician. So that is the message we should be carrying across. We should not sit at home or in assemblies and be lamenting. How are we going to be part of the process to change Nigeria for better? That is key. Lamenting on social media, on Twitter, on Facebook, on WhatsApp cannot help us, because, as I've said, no polling booth on social media. 2027 is not far. We might be thinking it's far. Politicians, when they finish one election, they are starting preparation for another election. So let's everyone, particularly youths, be part of electoral process. This is our nation. Not everybody will japa. So those who have no escape routes or opportunity to japa should be able to have enabling environments to live. As we have been saying, the issue of unemployment, in fact, a lot of Nigerian youth are frustrated. In fact, there's nothing you can say. They need job. They need they need good life. So there's nothing one can say that will enter their head than to give them that what they are seeking for. The problem we are having is the fact that not everybody is demanding for jobs from government. Just creating an enabling environment for businesses to thrive.
Help, yes.
For instance, if we solve power sector, the problem of power, for instance, sincerely, 50% of unemployment problem would have been solved.
Sure.
Because the barbing salons, the welders, even
spend less.
Imagine the amount of money they are spending on fuel, not even to power their vehicle, to power their machine. So power should be fixed, and indeed the issue of perpetual fuel increase and indeed scarcity is embarrassing to the nation. This is because I'm thinking that it's as if some people are bigger than the government. Because when politicians are campaigning, they will be making promises of dealing with cabals. But when they get there, it will be business as usual. So what caused this nation to fix our 4 refineries? What is the problem of NNPC, for God's sake? So Nigeria, and indeed Nigerians, have to sit tight. Nigeria is our collective patrimony. We must guard it jealously to ensure that we have a peaceful nation, and indeed a nation that responds to the needs and aspirations of ordinary Nigeria, not a nation that will feeding some segment of the society. Now, they are asking them to pay minimum wage. They are saying no money, fixed road, no money, but there is no sign of sacrifice from their own parts. For instance, the residential residence of the Vice President of Nigeria has just been built at the cost of 21 billion. National Assembly members purchased vehicles of 160 million naira each. At the same National Assembly, they are to build a car park for House of Rep, 4 billion naira. Another car park at the Senate, 4 billion naira. This is contained in the breakdown of 2024 budget presented by the president. So the last news we were hearing yesterday was that about 400 and something million being used for decoration. So if you are telling Nigerians to sacrifice, what are the level of sacrifice on the part of the leaders? If you know the amount of money they are telling Nigeria they are spending on newspapers, it is mind-boggling. The amount of money they have spent on traveling, it is mind-boggling. So how are we going to have a country that works? It is not in the hands of our leaders anymore, because people have lost confidence in them. So what is left now is for Nigerians, particularly youths, to ensure that at every election they participate actively in electing individuals with integrity that will be able to propel Nigeria to greatness.
Thank you so much, sir. I mean, you've said it all. We could go on and on to talk about all of this, but I mean, you've hit the hammer on the head, and we just hope for better. You know, at this point, we are not clamoring. I think we've gone lower. We are begging. You know, we're begging the government. See to the needs of these people. See to the needs of your people. See to the promises that you've made. See to the things that you've said. Let your integrity stand. That is the point that we are at this particular moment. Thank you again. We are so grateful for your time
and
for sharing your knowledge with us. And thank you for being a part of this. I mean, this show is nothing without you anyways. So until I come your way again next time, I am Stephen Bestionoloa, and
my name is Saeed Abdullah.
Thank you so much, sir.
It's my pleasure.
Till then, goodbye.